volunteer community platform for social enterprise. Come on now, guys. Keep it going. Keep the energy level up for StartNow from Singapore. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for this wonderful opportunity to be here today. You know, our journey started 10 years ago when we were just 14, and we started our first apparel printing business. And realizing we were good at it, so good that our first client was being bought out at 15 years of age. Thereafter, we moved on to event management and brand consultancy to finally arrive here today. Now, today I want to talk to you about not just a product, not just a service, but something bigger than that, an ecosystem, riding on this unprecedented rise in social consciousness and social awareness taking over the world. So we have a great team. Our developers are from Indonesia, our UI team from Vietnam, our core marketing team based in Singapore itself. All to come together to do good, to do it well, so well that we truly believe it can be a business. My name is Ivy Chang, I'm the co-founder and head technology for StartNow. So fundamentally, what StartNow do is one problem. We have tons of volunteers on one side of the equation and a lot of non-profit organizations seeking volunteer help on the other side of the equation. So essentially, there must be a way that we can effectively and efficiently connect both of them together to fill this demand and supply gap. And it cannot come at a better time with this rise in volunteer number all across Asia due to economic prosperity and a variety of other social factors. So essentially, our core function is to do this, is to match volunteers with non-profit organizations, giving them opportunities to volunteer. And we do this using a smart recommendation engine that searches a user based on his time setting, his preference setting, his location setting, and automatically pushes him events that we think are relevant to him. For our non-profit friends out there, we create for them a set of tools that we believe will effectively help them change the volunteer management of ways to manage volunteers itself. So what we built for them is a way for them to group unruly Excel sheet into smart groups such as volunteers, such as non-befrienders and administrators. And we create for them functions like events itself to push events in our system itself to more and more new volunteers itself. Our system is so smart and we talk to so many people that we even have a smart engine. The moment Adam can't make it for an event this Saturday, we automatically find him a replacement for that event itself. So all in all, we truly believe we built a new platform itself that effectively connects volunteer and non-profit organizations. But more so than that, how can we make the business sustainable, scalable, and most importantly to us, something of social good? And all our team came to Singapore and we took time to ponder on this, to really reflect on this issue itself. And how can we do this? And we found the missing link, and the missing link was staring right at us. It was the corporations, and by extension, schools too. So global aware companies such as HSBC understand the value volunteerism plays in organization. It provides them a CSR technique. It provides them volunteer engagement. It even creates for them brand identity. But volunteering in silos alone cannot and only can do so far. So I believe our breakthrough here today at StartNow is to give them new set of tools to effectively manage, track, and even report on their employee volunteering activities. But I think another key breakthrough we have here today is how we are going to put the social good that they are doing into the social network. Now, back again to our HSBC example. HSBC every year have a program with 600 volunteers of their bank itself to do and clean up the treetop walk at Bukit Timah. So this is a noble activity, but it has always been relegated to just a press release or a snippet of information on the website. But we believe this is a thing of the past. By harnessing the power of Facebook itself and Twitter itself, we are able to create notification and push notification to all their employees and involved in the activities itself. This will create thousands and thousands of authentic, high-value social media impressions that cannot be replicated anywhere else. It's authentic. And we truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, this is the future of advertising, and this is beyond advertising itself. So our pricing model is very simple. For our non-profit friends, we want to empower them with this tool. So our basic version for them is free. For those that require more tracking and more activities, we have a professional version that is very minimal cost. Our corporate and student plan starts at just $325 per user, per year, per account. So all in all, we started development a mere 52 days ago. And on Monday itself, we launched our beta system at our first event called Rethinking Volunteerism to more than 200 of our friends in the non-profit community alone. And I'm proud today at Startup Asia to announce that in 4 days alone, we have signed up 42 non-profit organizations, including NKF, including ACMI, Health Promotion Board, creating 18,000 end user accounts. That, ladies and gentlemen, is one user account created every 15 seconds. So this truly to us is an amazing feat, considering that we've only done this. We launched this 4 days ago. So in essence, really, when we come back, is that we found so many people across Asia who are interested and who share the same passion as us. So another announcement, my third announcement today, is that we are proud to announce today that we are working with global universities in the Asia Pacific, specifically the Beijing Daxue and the Hanoi University, to bring the StartNow model, to bring the localized version of StartNow to even more markets, and we call 开始. So essentially, really, it's about the ecosystem we're creating here. It's about doing social good, but doing it at a very reasonable way and a cost-effective way to us, and making this whole community. And hopefully, with your support and hopefully your investment too, we are able to bring our models to even more new markets that we can never imagine before. Thank you once again to the judges. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the 10 awesome team. And let me just give a shout out to Willis. Happy birthday, and thank you very much. I would like to invite my co-founder, Keith Sun, Head Strategy, to come up with me to answer question and answers.
Well, it's very refreshing to see a startup that's not completely opportunistic. It's actually looking to help solve many problems at a non-profit level. It looks like you do have hockey stick growth from the very beginning, and it looks promising. How are you going to scale? How are you going to scale technically?
Well, this game technically basically works the same platform that we've had all this while, which is the StartNow portal. And what we're going to do is just license the very same portal to new groups and start new chapters all across Asia. I think I even mentioned about different universities, undergraduates who have been wanting to create something that's quite similar to this. And when we met them, they said, oh, why not we just take the very same portal that you've got and let's kind of license it in Vietnam, in China, in Philippines as well, and Hong Kong as well. I think. So it's actually the same portal, but we want to kind of integrate it. So even if people move from, and a volunteer moves from Singapore to the Philippines, or he does a project in the Philippines, he gets the same kind of profile. He is able to match and track that same activity on his same volunteer profile.
Okay, it looks like you had a lot of, like 18,000 people sign up for the platform. How did you get those users?
Well, because each non-profit that signs up with us essentially imports the entire database of volunteers that exist today into the system. So with NPF itself, we've got 2,500 people who were immediately created, and once they got a free account each of the volunteers got a free account, and each account is auto-created once they import in the Excel list. And even small organizations will easily have 500 volunteers who volunteer maybe 3 times a year. And in fact, actually the market is much huger than we think. In the Asia-Pac region, excluding India, we're looking at 229 million people who volunteered the last month alone. And that's just a survey of the last month. But if you go back 6 months, a year, we're looking at 400 million people. So there's a huge market.
I'm not sure I understood who's going to use the platform. Is it the organizations or the volunteers themselves?
It's both ways. So it's an integrated platform. The non-profit organizations can create events. They can group their volunteers into different groups. They can send them a message. Each event creates an event page. They can post instructions. They can upload files. They can discuss with their volunteers about the event itself. The volunteers can go in and be pushed specific events based on their location, their time preferences. Say I'm free on a Monday afternoon, I'm interested in animals. I can push an event from all the different animal-related non-profit organizations that have an event on a Monday afternoon. So it's an integrated platform for both parties to connect.
Would it be accurate to say it's kind of an Eventbrite for non-profits?
I would say it's something like that. We kind of like to think of it as an open table concept, where the non-profits use it to manage the existing so-called tables that they have for the volunteers, and the volunteers can go in to sort of register for the events and find new events at the same time.
So basically your kind of business development is signing up the organizations.
The first phase is to sign up organizations, because as I mentioned, it's actually a very good way to acquire a large number of users with a shockingly low acquisition cost with just one event, which cost us I think over $2,000 only, just for the buffet. we want people to sign up and bring in their volunteers and start creating events on the site.
If, let's say I'm just one guy, I'm not part of any organization,
Right.
I want to do something to help whatever stuff.
That's right, if you want to get involved, you want to start now, you go to startnow.sg and then you sign on as a volunteer.
I can pick the events.
Correct, you can pick the events because if once you say you specify which day you're free, what kind of category of beneficiary you want, and then we push an event recommendation to you on your dashboard. New events that come along, we actually email and list you.
I have, sorry to ask
No problem.
question, but there's one thing that's really flagging volunteering and non-profits is people don't show up.
That's right.
They volunteer, they say, yeah, I'll be there, I'll open the door, I'll help, blah, 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 and then they show up. So do you have a way to review participants?
Yes, actually, the way what we're looking at in the next few months, we're going to build a sort of a grading system so we can grade each volunteer. Also, for example, as I'm just telling you to remind everyone that there's a certain rep sheet. So each volunteer actually has an event profile, a volunteer profile. So if say you sign up for an event, a non-profit organization, a volunteer manager can actually go in and say, oh, Ivan is actually a very reliable person because he's been for so many events before. And the second thing actually that we've also built is a contingency engine. So a lot of non-profits actually say these 6 people don't show up. And then, I need 50 people to distribute food, I need 50 people to do a certain event. If 3 people or 5 people don't show up, there's a real issue. But there's a contingency engine, so non-profits can actually specify a list of trusted volunteers who maybe weren't so keen on doing the activity, but if they were activated, then they could come to the rescue, so to speak, of an organization's event.
Okay, well, great.
Right. Thanks so much.
You're on the great track.
Thanks so much. Oh, sorry.
One last question.
Oh, sure.
Are you guys a non-profit or a for-profit yourself?
We're a for-profit social enterprise, and of course we look at a variety of metrics. So we want to make sure that we do social good, but at the same time we want to make sure that we have a great profit margin. And I think the money is going to come, or the profit is going to come from enticing corporates to come on board and use the system to create new corporate employee volunteering programs. Companies who've never done it before, or companies who do it, and we say, if you use our system, like I mentioned, the kind of brand building to be pushed onto the social network, instead of you just do it with your 2,000 employees and no one knows about it, or you just put out a press release that you've done X, Y, Z thing. So, but you use our system instead. Right. Thanks so much.
Excellent, impressive, nicely done, huh? This whole arena's full of surprises. Last but certainly